In this video, we're going to cover the question, can a meeting be canceled? You might be surprised by the answer, because it's both yes and no. Whether a meeting can be rescheduled or canceled depends on how the meeting was set in the first place. Let's take a look at some different options. In the column on the left, we'll see how the date of the meeting was originally set. Then in the column on the right, we'll see the options for changing the date in that particular case. So if the date of the meeting is set by an individual, for example, the president or executive director, then the individual who sets the date of the meeting may change the date of the meeting. If the date is set by a body, for example, a board of directors or an executive committee, then the body that sets the date may amend or rescind the date by way of the motion to amend something previously adopted or the motion to rescind. If the date of the meeting is set by the bylaws, for example, when the bylaws provide that regular meetings shall be held on the second Tuesday of each month, or when they provide that regular meetings shall be held on the 15th day of each month. Then, if the bylaws do not provide for canceling or rescheduling a meeting, the meeting cannot be canceled or rescheduled. Most of the time, when people ask me about canceling a meeting, this is the situation they're referring to, a meeting that is prescribed by the bylaws. The fact of the matter is, you have to follow the bylaws. If they say a meeting is to be held on a certain date, the only way to change that is to amend the bylaws, unless of course the bylaws already provide for changing the date. So to know whether the meeting can be rescheduled or canceled, you would need to check the bylaws. Let's look at some common language used in bylaws to allow for this type of change. Let's say the bylaws say, the regular meetings of the association shall be held on the third Monday of each odd-numbered month, unless otherwise ordered by the executive board. Notice the last clause, unless otherwise ordered by the executive board. This allows the board to change the date. So let's look at a question now. Given the language highlighted above, can the executive board decide that regular meetings shall now be held on the second Friday of each even-numbered month? What would your answer be, yes or no? Pause the video if you'd like more time. The correct answer is no. This provision does not allow the board to permanently change the date of the regular meetings. In fact, it only gives the board the authority to change the date in an unusual circumstance and only for a single meeting on that particular occasion. Robert's Rules of Order specifically provides that if the words "unless otherwise ordered by the society" or executive board are added, the date can be changed in an unusual circumstance, but only for that single meeting on that particular occasion, and not for a period of time including several meetings. So we see that how the date of a meeting is set determines how the date can be changed. And as a final caveat, I'd like to mention that we spoke of an individual or a body setting the date for a meeting. In this context, we're referring to cases where the individual or board is properly authorized to set the date. I encourage members to check their bylaws to confirm exactly how meetings are scheduled. In my experience as a parliamentarian, this question about canceling meetings often arises from a situation where the meeting is, in fact, clearly set by the bylaws, and either the president or the executive board simply decides, without proper authority, to declare that the meeting is canceled. This, of course, is not in accordance with the rules. Neither a president nor an executive board has the authority to cancel or reschedule a meeting that is set by the bylaws, unless the bylaws specifically grant that authority to the president or the executive board. That covers, can a meeting be canceled?